Tiger Woods, your rivalry with him over the years, how would you describe it?
You know, he definitely dominated. I mean, unfortunately for me, you know, he did dominate our era, you know, that 10-year era. And, you know, he beat me a lot more often than I wanted to get my hands on him. But he was just amazing, just absolutely amazing talent and the way he performed. I don't know, you know, I never played with Jack Nicklaus, but obviously they would have had a great rivalry. He was just a little bit too good, you know, and it pains me to say that, but that's just a fact. But I did have some good battles with him. I did beat him here and there, but he, you know, I don't want to sound like sour grapes, but you know, playing against him in the United States, you know, gave him a little bit of a I wouldn't say upper hand, but he was a bit more comfortable than I was.
Because of the fan support?
Well, just because, you know, you're playing at home.
Right.
You know, I've got great support here, unbelievable support through the years, but at the end of the day, you know, you're playing at home and the other guy's not. So, you know, you just feel a bit more comfortable. And that played into his hands, but also the talent of the man is just amazing. The shots that he played and the best closer I've ever seen in my life.
But interestingly, when I was talking to David Ledbetter, he pointed out that you know, sometimes, at least then, and your longtime swing coach you would almost give him too much credit for his talent, and you wouldn't give yourself enough credit for your own talent.
Yeah, I guess so. But that didn't take anything away from my competitiveness when I got back onto the golf course. You know, I admire the guy, but I wasn't going to stand back for him. You know, I wanted to win. But I just, you know, sometimes, you know, professional athletes, you know, it's almost like they've admitted it, but they won't say it. You know, and a lot of guys just, you know, you could not quite beat the guy at times.
To what extent would you motivate one another?
Well, he did. I know he's got respect for me. You know, I knew that from way back. You know, back in the early '90s. You know, when he was still a youngster, and used to play in professional tournaments, he'd seek me out. You know, and come and talk to me.
Really?
So yeah, to get some advice and. I guess I was a nice guy, you know, he could approach me and he felt comfortable with me. And, you know, we would talk and, you know, we played together in some tournaments early on when he was an amateur. And then in 1996, you know, I finished second to Tom Lehman and I messed up a little bit on 16 and 18. I bogeyed those holes, otherwise I could have been in a playoff. And I was waiting for Tom to finish the 18th. I was sitting in that locker room, you know, and Tiger approached me again, and I was a little upset because of my finish. But I said, "No, come sit down, and you know what do you want to talk about?" And he actually wanted to know if he was good enough to turn pro. You know, in 1996, and you know, we had a great chat. And so if I look back now, I should have told him he wasn't good enough. Should have told me, you know, you should wait another 5 years. But,
Right.
But he, you know, I could see a special guy in him, and you know, and from then on, you know, when a guy talks to you like that, you know, he regards you as maybe a little different.
And that's the one consistent theme, though, that everybody I talked to about you has said, just how approachable you are and how, you know, open you are in terms of helping out others on the tour. Now, it's interesting you say that about Tiger and, you know, the conversations you had. You guys have both gotten on each other a little bit, it seems, over the past couple of years, and you never know how much the media sort of takes this stuff out of context, but whether it be him saying you could have worked harder coming back from the knee injury, or you know, criticizing the timing of his first public statements following his indiscretions. To what extent has that damaged at all the relationship?
I don't think too much. You know, I mean, you know, people obviously will take quotes that they want to use. You know, people say I'm the big easy. You know, that probably means that I'm easy and I don't work. But I think it was taken out of context a little bit. Since my knee operation, at least I haven't had to go back for another knee surgery.
Right.
So I think I did what I needed to do. I think confidence is another part. At times, I lost a little bit of confidence in my game, and felt I get really hard on myself, and and then I kind of shy away a little bit. And I think at that time I could have been in one of those little funks when he made that statement. And when I said, when he came back, or when he made that apology publicly, it was also taking time away from the tour and taking the spotlight away from an ex-sponsor of his and a sponsor of the tour. So, I think he's very frank and I'm very frank, and I think we've always been like that towards each other right through the history. And it's just, it was a little bit of a shame that, it came out in the media, but we'd say that to each other face to face, which we did. I did go to him after I basically slated him a little bit. The week after I saw him at Augusta, I went up to him and we had a little bit of a chat. He told me what he thought about, my thing, and I told him, so we're fine. We've been like that for many years.